I'm at Kilauea Point National Wildlife Refuge in Hawaii, actually on the island of Kauai. And I'll show some pictures because where I'm standing is away from people. I didn't want to disturb them whenever I'm talking here. But it got me, just being here just got me thinking, you know the saying, there's nothing new under the sun. That's something that comes from the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible, often attributed to King Solomon, David's son. Although I don't, and many Bible scholars don't actually believe it was authored exclusively by Solomon, if he authored it at all. In it is wise sayings, but we don't know that it actually was Solomon. But anyway, the point is that there's nothing new under the sun. As I've been here on Kauai, the sun has been so intense, and you could actually probably see my nose skin peeling a little bit from getting too much sun the other day. But as I reflect on the sun and its intensity, I often think of what we go through in life. We have intensity in life sometimes, and when we think of the moments of being in the intensity, being people of intensity, because we can't actually do things without intensity. Some people say, do it in moderation, eat this in moderation, eat that in moderation. What is moderation? Well, it's pretty subjective for each person. But what we do is we have things, here I'll show you the lighthouse here. Look at that. Look at that. That's amazing, isn't it? The lighthouse is pretty far out there. This is an area where humpback whales come and nest and have their calves, nurse them. It's a protected area. So we do things with intensity because moderation is something that we don't know exactly how to do it perfectly. And we work with intensity. We do sports with intensity. We even, when you get upset, people go from 0 to 60 with intensity. Or maybe you're bottling things up and at one point you're then going to explode. Well, that's a bit of intensity. But that's fine. Not the getting angry part, but living intensely is fine, because when we have brief moments of intensity, we can learn and grow from that. Maybe there's a level of intensity that you have during your work, and you have several days or several weeks or even several months depending on your industry or your duties, and those are intense. When I was in the fitness industry, I saw periods of intensity throughout the year, like the beginning of the year when we had an influx of all the New Year's resolution people who were trying to change their health and get fit and change their body composition. Or after the kids went back to school in September, we saw an influx of people then as well, because the kids were in school and outside of work, the moms and dads were trying to figure out what to do with their time. So they came to the gym, and these periods of intensity are prevalent throughout our life in different seasons. As a pastor, I think of my time during the Easter season or the Christmas season. Weeks and that month leading up can be pretty intense because there's so much going on. But all moments of intensity, they dissipate. And after Easter, after Christmas, there's a lull and we get a break, we get to rest. But the intensity in that way is good. It grows us, it builds us up, and it stretches us. And we come together and get stronger because of it. Apostle Paul said in Philippians chapter 1, he said that he's sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will see it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ, when he comes back, when he comes to restore all things. So over our lifetime, we are progressively moving closer and closer. If we allow it and continue to surrender to the Lord, we are progressively getting closer and closer to what's called sanctification, becoming holy, becoming righteous, getting closer. Doesn't mean we arrive, but Apostle Paul said this, that he who began a good work in us. He who began a good work in us. So Jesus did that. God is the one who is having the good work in us if we are surrendered to him to allow that. And then he will see it to completion, maturity. He will see it to maturity at the day of the Lord when he comes back to renew and restore all things. So during that lifetime, there's moments of intensity. There's moments where we're like, oh my gosh, I can't stand it. Or it's exciting in the intensity, but it can't last. So we surrender it, we get through it, we get stronger because of it. And in the valleys, the gaps between the intense moments, that's when we process and we reflect and we think about that and we get ready and we rest even. We get renewed to get to the point of recharge so that we can do that level of intensity again. But if we remain in the intensity, if I remain in this sun, if I remain just exposed, the intensity of the sun will burn me up. It'll take me out. It'll be very painful. So we have to leave the sun. We have to leave those moments of intensity to recharge, refresh, and renew. And I think that's where our healing process is. We might have intense moments of trauma. When we leave that area intentionally, we heal, we grow, we get stronger. And I think that's necessary. So over the course of our life, all those dots on the map of our journey, those intense dots, those intense moments, those make up who we are. And I think that's important. So there may not be anything new under the sun, but we can learn from all of those moments. We can learn from all of it, whether it's new or not. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Keep your head up, keep pursuing God, and I'll see you next time.